Fires can be a major problem in camper vans, especially the old Volkswagen split screens and bay windows. So this short video shows how to install a FireTrace fire extinguisher system. Here's a typical camper van engine bay. What we're going to look at now is to see where we can put the FireTrace system itself. Mark, just explain roughly where the cylinder needs to be positioned, please.
We need to find a position in the engine bay where we can get the cylinder within 45 degrees of vertical, and also out the way of all your major components to give you access for maintenance and such like, and give us a good opportunity to take the tube off to the protected area.
So I guess the first stage then is to trial fit it. Here's the system itself.
Yep, if we take great care on the detection tube so we don't have any kinks or damage to the tube, and it's just a matter of sighting the cylinder in a position we know we can get a good fixing, and then that'll be within 45 degrees of vertical.
Gotcha, so vertical right across to 45 degrees.
That's correct.
That's the maximum we can do. It looks like you've got a good position there. Now looking around the engine bay, is there any other spots that are popular?
We generally fit it towards the side, obviously, because that's where the free space is. Because all engines are so individual and different, it is just a matter of finding a space where we can get the cylinder within 45.
Now, as you see from this FireTrace system, there's a typical cage here for an extinguisher and two holes here, so you can mount the cage straight onto the vehicle. Alternatively, as we're going to show in the video, you could use this piece of mounting bar and two brackets, and we'll show you where those are fitted on the vehicle as well. Now, I've chosen to mount the FireTrace system inside this area here. There's nowhere really to fit the cage to the bodywork, so instead I'm going to use a couple of brackets, mount this here, and then mount the cage to it. So the first thing we're going to do is drill some holes for the mounting brackets. Now here's the mounting bracket fitted, so you can see the brackets at the top there. The cage will go on here, on the back of here. We now need to fit a small L-shaped bracket down here to be able to secure this mounting bar. Now here's the mounting bar from the top view. As you can see, we've fitted it up at the top here, and then down below here's the L-shaped bracket going in. Now what we've mounted to here is a bolt sticking up from the floor, and we've mounted some nuts onto it, and that's held it in position. So here's a view from the bottom of the mounting bar. You can see right up to the top, and that's inside the engine bay on the left hand side. Here's the cage being fitted. A couple of bolts with nuts and spacers. There's the cage bolted in. Notice there's enough space at the top for the fire extinguisher to be fitted, and its tube to go around. That's the most critical thing. So it looks like it's time to fit the FireTrace system there, Mark. Where do we start exactly in feeding it in?
Well, the most important thing again is to not to damage the detection tube. So if you take a grasp of the cylinder, then you want to be feeding the detection tube around the engine.
Here's the extinguisher going in. Mark, explain to me about the tube that comes off the end of the nozzle. We can't kink that there, can we? That's quite important to keep it straight.
Yeah, so be very careful again with the tube as we're putting the cylinder in. We want to install the cylinder in such a way that the radius of the tube doesn't kink the tube, and we have a nice straight bit of...
So that initial bit needs to be straight. The rest of it can be bent, can't it? It can be radius to what, about 100 mil, did you say?
That certainly can, yeah. As long as we keep the first bit straight, so the first fixing of the tube as it goes onto the cylinder is maintained. You can come off that sort of angle. We just leave the gauge pointing up so it's ready for you to look for maintenance in the future.
Great, so we can see how much pressure's in there.
That's correct.
Excellent. There's the FireTrace system installed here. We just need to run the tube now. So before we fit the tube, we need to protect the areas where we're going to mount the tube, aren't we? We've got a plastic conduit, okay, is it? Or?
That's correct. Any kind of split tube, we generally use a split Copex, just for ease of use, which will slip over the tube, ready like that.
Right.
And what we do with that is that then goes on our fixing point with the cable tie. So as we tighten up the cable tie to the roof of the unit, we can be happy that we're going to have no damage to the tube or cut through on the tube.
Great. Now looking at that plastic tubing, here's the full length of it. That's the sort of stuff you can buy from most electrical suppliers. Here's the pipework being fitted at the back of the engine bay. As you can see, it's being fitted to the roof of the engine bay, which is thin metal. It's got holes in it, so we can run some cable ties through. Make sure the conduit is protecting the tube wherever it's cable tied. Right, so here's the first bit of the tube that's secured to the underside of the engine bay. So you can see there's all the cable ties, and that's running right down the back of the engine. As well as cable tying the pipework in place, you can also P-clip it. Little plastic P-clips with self-tapper screws can hold it in place. Once the pipework's in position, all cable tied in this case, last thing to do is to cut the loose ends off. And then here's the completed system. There's the extinguisher and the pipework that runs from it.